Hello and welcome to Everything's Fine, probably your weekly antidote to bad news, and the only show where three people who shouldn't be trusted with power tools try to restore your faith in humanity. Shelley and Stu are here with me. How are you both? You all right?
Hello, I'm fine. How are you, Shelley, tonight?
I'm good. Oh, I discovered some new ASMR recently.
What was that again?
Is
It's
that the follow-up single to YMCA?
yeah, is that a simulated sensory response thing? I did a bit about it, didn't I?
You know, when you had to eat sweet thing.
Yeah, you had to eat disgusting freeze-dried sweets.
Yes.
Yeah.
Nasty stuff.
Yeah, I found one where it's like people slicing up glass fruit, but it's like normal fruit on the inside. So it's like it's all crispy on the outside and it's all soft on the inside, but it's definitely AI.
Yeah.
But I don't care. It's really satisfying to watch.
Yeah, I know what you mean now. I've seen those. They are nice, aren't they?
Yeah.
Really nice. They just, you sort of kind of can feel it, can't you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So ASMR works on you, Stu.
Yeah,
if you can feel it, then
it does. It does. Have you seen any of these?
Shelley took me through some of this a few months ago now. But she kind of to get me to do the whole thing, she got me to eat some freeze-dried sweets. They were particularly disgusting.
Right.
The freeze-dried flump.
Yeah.
Just turned to plastic in my mouth.
Okay.
And it's kind of put me off the whole thing.
Oh, okay.
A little bit, but that's all right.
I will share some glass fruit slicing for you, and maybe it will rekindle an interest for you. I say rekindle. You never really had to.
No, just kindle. It's not a rekindle. It's just a kindle. Well, that's all nice. I'm fine, by the way. Thank you both for asking.
All right. I asked you earlier.
We did, but we weren't on air then.
Okay, how are you, Jim?
I've got a bit of a cold.
Oh, have you? You're all right. Take Lemsip or something.
No, I can't. I'm allergic.
Oh, are you? Best not then.
No. The last time I took Lemsip, I spent a few days in hospital afterwards.
All right.
Probably not ideal, but they did something.
Okay.
Allergic to Lemsip.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
There we are.
Are you still? Sorry, I was just going to say.
Curries and whiskey.
Yeah, Shelley.
Allergic to those.
Shelley, what can I say?
Should I speak now? I was just going to say.
I would think what we should talk about now.
I was just going to say, you still beaming with pride over our little episode we did last week.
You both did very well.
Thanks, Jim. Sound like the young Mr. Grace.
Well done to you both.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Editing it together.
Doing very, very well.
Good. Well, we should probably get on with the show. Been an interesting week, hasn't it? Foul stench from particularly offensive Trumps drifting around the airwaves. He's now decided the First Amendment's more of a polite suggestion than a law. Free speech, only good when it's flattering, apparently. What do we think of that?
Yeah, I saw what happened with Jimmy Kimmel.
He's back, isn't he, tonight?
Yes.
It is.
Yeah.
Yes.
In fact, they've had a word. He's thought better of it, and he's back on air.
It wasn't the fact that it cost Disney literally millions of dollars in a week in cancel subscriptions.
Well, yeah, it was that as well. And the advertisers running to the hills. But he is back tonight. So there we go. Free speech is back on.
Well, I imagine he'll be on his best behaviour.
Well, I mean, I don't know. Nobody really listens to us, so I don't think we'll get cancelled.
Say what we like, can't we? We're not going to get cancelled for that.
I know what he said that got him cancelled, but I didn't really think it was that awful. You know, he could have gone a lot more. Like, some people have said some really dark things about the events of the last few weeks, and which have probably not really been appropriate considering what happened. I thought he was playing it quite safe, really.
Well, this is Trump's world, and he's
threatened to go after journalists for saying mean things about him. Yeah. I think that's quite interesting, considering actually the meanest things you could say about Donald Trump would be if you just described him.
Absolutely. So we all need to be really careful then. Although, hello and welcome to our American listeners. 10% of our audience, hello out there.
Hello, America.
Absolutely.
You're very welcome. But yeah, one good thing that happened this week.
Palestine has been recognised as a state by the UK.
Yes. Late to the party, but we did it in the end.
Yeah.
Also, Australia, Canada, Portugal, France, and Belgium all signed up. So what does that mean for the state of Palestine?
Well, it just means that they can potentially get support from the United Nations. I know that people were saying that was that could be controversial to speak about it tonight, but it would be clear that that is not support for Hamas. That is support for the people of Palestine. Because if they were then to put in a new leader, that would mean getting rid of Hamas. I think it's a good thing. I think it could bring peace for both sides.
There's clearly quite a lot of other people now. 157 of the 193 member states of the UN now recognising Palestine. So you say some good stuff.
That is good.
It is life outside of Trump. Okay, let's move on to tonight's topic. Maybe provide a little clarity on why fighting for the right to speak is part of Fighting for Hope. If you downloaded last week's episode, you'll know that Shelley and Stu dug into mental health in the construction industry. Proof that even when your job's literally building things, sometimes it's your emotional foundations that need most work. This week we carry on that theme. Thank you. But we're changing tools. We've got a guest who was involved in the Baton of Hope as it passed through Norwich last week. And for those who don't know, that's a national campaign raising awareness about suicide, mental health, being open, talking. So we'll let her tell you the full story. Welcome to the pod, Becca Kellaway. Hi, Becca. How are you?
Hiya. Thank you so much for having me on your podcast. I'm doing well, thank you.
Good. Becca, tell us more about the Baton of Hope. For those who don't know, what is it?
So it started last year. This is the second year of it running. It's basically carrying this big silver and gold baton all around different cities in the UK as a way of raising awareness and starting a conversation, and just generally lifting the veil about suicide. Both supporting those who have survived people who have died by suicide, and also to help people who might be thinking about it and things like that. It's for everybody,
Fantastic. How did you come to get involved in this?
So back in May 2022, my best friend died by suicide. And then I got in, I was just sort of in a bit of a fugue state, wandering around Norwich. And in the forum every year around May, they do the life and death celebration type thing. So it's lots of organizations getting together to help about things like suicide. I got talking to Mind, and then they supported me through their Rest Cafe. So if anybody is struggling, at the Rest Cafe in Norwich, they do a bereavement cafe, and they do one-to-one support and everything. So I learned about all these sort of support networks for that, and then it was through that I learned about the Baton of Hope.
I mean, I looked at the website earlier. I mean, the figures are staggering, aren't they? 700,000 deaths by suicide globally every year. That's from WHO. 14 million suicide attempts globally every year. 6,000 deaths just in the UK. So this is a really serious thing, isn't it? It's the biggest killer, isn't it, in the UK for people under 30?
Yeah, I think the stats are really terrifying. I think one of the stats that came up on the night was it's 17 people a day or something is trying or is dying by suicide. It's really serious, and I think there's many reasons why the Baton of Hope was so important to me. But most of it was that really we just need to talk about it, and I think people are a bit ginger about talking about it, just in case you say suicide and then suddenly everyone just keels over and dies. But if you don't talk about things, then they get hidden and squished down, and then there's no solution. It's important to talk even if it hurts.
Yeah.
Sorry, Shelley, you carry on.
So I was just saying, I think for quite a while actually there's been unfair. There's been some sort of shame, hasn't there, attached to suicide for quite a lot of years, and I think that's something that's slowly starting to change now, and because actually it's been recognized as people succumbing to an illness rather than it's just sort of using those words all the time. Oh, they've almost saying they chose to end their life. Whereas actually, if you really know people who've been in that kind of mental state, or even yourself, if you have had that feeling, and actually how it doesn't really feel like it feels like you don't have any choice at all. And so I was just thinking, I mean, do you feel like we are starting to change our attitudes about suicide?
Yeah, I think it was really not very long ago that it stopped being an actual crime, right? Like, so that's why I try and be very mindful not to say commit suicide, because actually you can't, it's not a crime anymore. It's not like you're not doing a crime. Yeah, and I think especially just seeing, it was really, Wednesday was a really beautiful day. I decided to take it as a celebration instead of as like a funeral, which is what I was originally sort of like. But it was, so like I was trying to do my best to honor my friend and celebrate their life. And it was so amazing, even though it was an absolute shitty day, like it was really raining. It was so amazing to see how many people turned up and how many people showed solidarity. Just, members of the public came along just to see it happen. And the sort of closing ceremony was massive, and it was really good. So I really think that, yeah, the tides are turning and more people are reaching out and more people are starting to talk about it. But I think as well that everything is very ingrained, especially I think in the UK, things are slow to change, So there's still more to do, and I think that's why it's important to keep going on and on and on about it.
Yeah. So what did the day look like? What actually happened on the day when the baton was passing?
So it started off at the Norfolk Showgrounds, and then it got a tractor ride down to like the Sainsbury's Centre, and then
nice.
And then it went on a jolly. So I picked it up at the Plantation Garden at the fountain, which was really lovely. And the Plantation Garden had a gong bath and meditation and free croissants. So like, which is always good. So like it had lots of just grounding, which is a really important tool, is like trying to be in the present moment. And so then I picked it up at the Plantation Garden and I walked it up to Chapperfield Garden, where there was like a party happening. Basically, there was loads of different stalls there, from places like Nelson's Journey, which if you've got kids who are going through grief, they're like the primo people to talk to. They're really good at helping kiddies, and Papyrus and all sorts of things. Like, so they were all there. Like, it wasn't as pumping because it was all a bit washed out. Clive Lewis was there, my local MP, Norwich, and he was talking about it, and he took it on then, and I think it went then to the Forum, and then on to the Madder Market Theatre, and then eventually down to Carrow Road, like to the football pitch, and that's where the closing ceremony was. So that's where that's where I joined it up again.
I'm looking at the Baton of Hope now. It's a beautiful thing, isn't it?
Yeah, it's beautiful, and it's heavy as well.
Is it? Yeah. Yeah, and also the design is amazing as well, isn't it? It's directional, pointing upwards from the foot to the top of the baton. This represents a journey of hope, of moving bravely away from the darkness of despair with encouragement and support. That's lovely, isn't it? What lovely sentiment. So how did you feel when you were carrying that?
Yeah, so but on the sort of design of the baton, the guy who actually set up the whole Baton of Hope thing, he was there at the closing ceremony, and he was describing about how part of it is like this semicolon, and how it's sort of like it's not quite the end, it's just another beginning, and how important that was, and like, and how that's becoming a thing. And it was really
there's lots of little touches on it, because there's a bit around the middle of it that looks like a sort of like a diamondy design, but it's actually people holding each other up.
Yeah, it's really beautiful and intricate. Yeah, it's really lovely.
So if you've not seen the baton, you can check it out on the Baton of Hope website. Tell you all about its origins, how it was built, what it looks like. It's a spectacular looking thing. If I'd been carrying that through the city, even for a very, very short space of time, I would have just been terrified I was going to drop it, because that's pretty much exactly what I would have done within seconds of telling to people, now you've got to be really careful of this, all right, because it's
yeah. Well, it's made by Thomas Light, royal warrant holder.
Yes,
And
exactly. Yeah.
they've made things including the FA Cup, the
Hmm.
Rugby World Cup,
Wow.
ATP finals, golf's Ryder Cup. So, this is a serious, beautiful thing, isn't it? So
Yeah, it's like
is the idea they're going to do this every year now?
yeah, I think so. I think exactly that. They're just building on it and building on it. And so as well as the Baton of Hope website, there's a one for Norwich too, if there's like Baton of Hope Norwich, if you want to see exactly what was going on the day for that.
I mean, how many people do you say there are? About 40 do the city and then the party at the end?
So there's loads. We all joined, like we all met up to for like a meeting, and there was so many. I thought there was only going to be like 10 of us or something, but there was loads. So it was really lovely. We could have like a good walk around, and then yeah, at the ending ceremony, there was the lady who presents the local news. She was like hosting it. And there was like we all got to have us people who held the baton got to go and have a jolly around the football pitch. We weren't allowed to touch the grass with our feet, but we were allowed to walk along the outside, which was really,
Oh, I
really
was going to say.
I don't think Norwich could do much worse on their home pitch. If you
Oh, yeah, okay.
quite frankly, I haven't managed to win
Yeah.
a game at home all season
Yeah.
so far. So we'll see. Because it was one of the team who actually finished the.
Exactly.
Was
Yeah,
it?
it was one of the guys. Oh, my cat's got off the thing. I can tell you who it was now.
So,
It was
Yeah.
Emmy McCondas.
I mean,
That's his name was, yeah.
Yeah.
He was really lovely. You could tell it really touched him. He was saying how his own personal family had been affected by suicide. It was
Yeah.
really touching for everyone.
So, before we came on tonight, I had a look at the website, and there was a really interesting article by Stuart Carroll called "The Elephant in the Room." This might be a good point for you to come in, Shelley. Obviously, working in a medical setting. So he says that the healthcare system in the UK is outmoded, and obviously the whole thing around mental health needs dramatic reform. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, completely. I would agree with that. It is just this huge, just, I won't even call it a gap. It's like a chasm, really. There is just nothing really there for people. And but this is personal. This is not me sort of speaking on the behalf of like all,
No.
healthcare professionals or
Yeah.
anything like that. But just in my opinion, I just sort of feel like actually we really need to in some way stop separating off mental health as it is a different thing, but like every health condition is a different thing, and your mental health is actually part of your physical health. Nobody can say that if they weren't suffering with really bad anxiety or depression, that's actually not having an impact on their physical health. I just feel like it should be getting there should be as much care, research, funding, everything should be able to go in. And I feel like you should be able to access help for your mental health as easily as you can just go and access help for anything, which it's probably not the best time to say that, because in all fairness, it's not the best time to try and get help with the NHS when it's so underfunded everywhere. But I really do feel like, actually, sometimes I feel like we've got things the wrong way round, because if you protect people's mental health, you are protecting their physical health as well. People are less likely to have risk-taking behaviour, use alcohol, drugs, and also people are more likely to care about themselves, eat healthily, exercise, and do all of these things that actually makes you physically more healthy and protects you from long-term health conditions. So I just feel like we just seem to be very reactive, and we're not preventing harm coming to people by helping them look after their mental health and recognizing what the problems are a lot more. So I don't know if that's something that anyone else has thought about.
Well, I think in the article, Stuart Carroll, he also says this is a public health crisis, and he draws to the fact, all the government's focus on smoking bans and stopping smoking and so on. And his point is, how can we reframe the public discourse to elevate suicide to the same level of urgency as other public health crisis by obviously this thing you did, Becca. It's the start of an awareness campaign, isn't it? So it's to draw awareness to this, public health crisis which is going on at the moment. If you look at the website as well, see there's lots of partners involved, isn't there? Such as like the Samaritans and various support groups. So it's getting that information out to people that these services exist.
Yeah. So like I don't know if I told you, Jim, but last year I was appointed the service user governor for the NSFT. I took a bit of time out because I was a bit poorly with my mental health this year. And
so
also
on that, Becca, what does that stand for?
Norwich and Suffolk Foundation Trust. So it's like the
Okay.
mental health trust for Norfolk and Suffolk. So as a way to try and see what's going on behind the scenes, as a way to sort of help promote people's voices and see where change can happen. And I've also just started training to be a Samaritan as well, to also like listen, because I think that there are so many gaps. There's gaps in that people need to talk about it more. That's why I want to do the Baton of Hope. There's gaps, like you were saying, Shelley, in the and you as well, Stu, about like infrastructure of mental health. And then there's also gaps in what always strikes me, especially here in the UK, I find it even more so, but in every country, that you can be surrounded by people, but you can still be alone. So often there's no one to talk to, and it can be difficult even to talk about these things to your busy mates, or like your brother, sister, mother, father. And so any avenue of discourse and any way that people can speak. And I think that was one of the most beautiful things that happened on the whole Baton of Hope day, was all of these people really bravely, like often through tears, stood up and told their story of surviving suicide, or told their story about how they were bereaved by suicide, and just how devastating it was, and how they found hope, and how they managed to move through each day. And I think that's what we need to do. We all just need to be braver as individuals and hold space for people who are speaking and speak up ourselves. That was a bit of a rant.
Yeah, as another point in that article Stuart raised is how can we get people talking in place, like pubs or gyms or the local libraries. So I think it's got to be more of a sort of nationwide, beyond just the health setting, hasn't it? It's got to be community-based, community-driven. So everyone feels a lot more comfortable speaking about these issues. The cafe you went to was after the event for the bereavement. But that sounds like a great thing. So could you just drop in there with like-minded people and just discuss how you were feeling and shared experience? Was that the
it's exactly that. It's specifically for people with bereavement from suicide, because that's often really complicated. Grief in general is horrendous and really complicated and hard to unpick, but there's like another level of complex when it's a sudden and sometimes gruesome death, And so it was really good. And they've been building a really lovely thing that happened was I went there and it was my best friend that died. And so I often feel really silly being so upset about it, because, they were just my best friend, even though they were like family to me. They're like a sister to
No,
me.
that's a significant person in your life. They don't have to be a blood relation to you. The people are just who they are to you. I mean, it's so important having that person that you clearly bonded with. Are you comfortable at all just to tell us a little bit about her? Obviously, you don't have to tell us about her suicide or anything, but just tell us who she was and what she was like.
Yeah, so their name was V. Very not long before they died, they like came out as a as non-binary, as they them. And I remember I was like one of the first people that she practiced on, and I remember being like, yeah, we've joked about this for years. Like, it's good. So I have to try and remember to say they them. Yeah. So we met. she's a Libra. They're a Libra. Their birthday is 5th of October. So we met at university. They were running late. They ran in and they're like, "Is this English?" And I was like, "Yeah. Do you want some almonds?" And that's it. We're best friends forever.
Oh. You had me.
Is that how you tempt people in with almonds?
Yeah.
Who doesn't love almonds, right? Yeah.
And every aspect of my life V has a part of. So this nose ring here was the first time I had my nose pierced, and I told them how for years and years and years, ever since I was little, I'd always dreamt about it. And then, you know, like a week later, V turns up in her car. They booked me an appointment to have my nose pierced. You know, that's the sort of friend that V was. You know,
yeah, she's sort of taking you by the hand and leading you at times through life and making sure that you do the things that are important to you. That's lovely. That's such a nice thing.
Like everything. My daughter had a chance to meet them, and it was really lovely. My daughter Sky was almost born on her birthday, which was really, but she held in for like 10 extra days, little bugger.
Yeah.
I'm really sorry to hear that, Becca. Yeah. Thanks for sharing it, but must be tough. Sounds like a great person.
I think really in the last week, I think the Baton of Hope was really important for me because it's like a turning point. I'm trying now to sort of put aside some of the sadness and make a little bit more space for the joy and the fun and the happiness that V brought into our lives instead of like sad all the time. Thank you. That was really kind of you to say. I appreciate it.
So it's nearly their birthday now. Do you still do something to celebrate their birthday?
In my own little way, yeah. Their Facebook page is still up, and often people put things up on there. So in my own little way, you know. And there's a picture that we have of them in the house, and every morning I say hello, and Sky, you know, I can hear my daughter Sky going, "Hi, V." Like, she sometimes stops and chats to her. "Oh, how's your day been?" "Oh, yeah, I'm good." You know.
Like they're sort of like the guardian angel now.
Yeah, still a big part of our lives.
Oh, well, they sound amazing. V sounds amazing. And yeah, thank you for talking to us about her and them. Sorry, I'm doing it now.
I do the same.
No, I would be you. I didn't have to get used to it. I just know. Yeah, no,
if people are listening to this and they want to get involved in the same way that you're getting involved in things, what are the sort of places they can go? What could they do? What should they do?
100% go to the Rest Cafe. There's always things there. There's always a good jump off point. You can find out organizations, you can find out things to get involved in. I think maybe you can get involved, like maybe you can contact the Baton of Hope directly. I don't know, but Samaritans are always looking for volunteers. But yeah, the Rest Cafe is a really good hub for anybody to find out anything about this sort of stuff.
And if you go onto that particular website, there's all the partners on there, so you can the Baton of Hope website. So actually, sort of looking at that again before we came on, it was quite interesting to read another article on there by Akila Muhammad talking about the silence and stigma of suicide in Muslim communities, because you know that again is a different approach. It mentions things like how can community leaders look to interpret religious teaching in a way that encourages open discussion about mental health and suicide without compromising core Islamic principles. It's not as easy, is it? It's just saying go out and get some hope, hope and help. It's about getting tailored support as well. And I think if everyone can go to the website, there's plenty of partners on there who can help with all faiths and all types of different communities as well, because everyone's got a different experience, haven't they? A different environment, and it's not one size fits all, is it? When you're being supported.
And it's also, there's partners for all ages. My daughter is only in the second year of high school, and already she's had a couple of friends who have considered suicide. I think that it's growing and growing in the younger kids. And so it's really important that it's not just 30-year-old people doing it. It's also older people. It's also younger people. It's everyone. And it's, you know, rich people, poor people, like you said, people from every religion, people from every walk of life.
So,
Yeah.
I mean, that's a difficult conversation. Like with your daughter, for instance, isn't it? Does she ask, my friends aren't very well at school, they're struggling. Why is that?
Yeah, I think this is another way that V has helped us and shone a light. Is that because of everything that happened with V, then there's an open communication with my daughter and I, so that when her friends were struggling, she already knew, oh, this is something that you can get support from. This is not like, uh-oh, let's just pretend it's not happening. Right, let's call a number, let's like talk to somebody, let's get involved. And so I think that's what was important.
That's a really good outcome, isn't it?
Yeah.
That your daughter can say, I know where to go. That's what is needed, isn't it? More people sharing that information. So it's in the public domain. This is where you go when you're struggling, when you need help.
So I was just going to say, I know on their website they actually have a map and listing of everywhere that the Baton's going to be. We can share that, because also I'm pleased because we've actually got the Baton of Hope is coming to Basingstoke on Thursday, and my and the trust that I'm involved in, they are actually, I think the Baton's actually coming to the hospital there. I think it is, but I know we're involved because also the trust I work for are taking the workplace pledge as well.
Yeah, excellent.
Yeah.
Loads of places in Norwich did that. It was really heartwarming to hear. I think today it had just been in Hastings.
Yeah.
Doing the rounds. Tell us a bit more about the workplace pledge. What's that about? How does it work?
So it's about getting employers they're signing up to say they're actually making their workplaces places that are, you can have the open conversation and talk about it. So it's just a sort of, it's kind of supporting people with mental health at work and making sure that this is something that can be talked about openly, and people can get the help that they need as well when they're at work. I mean, working in healthcare, that's a bit, because you're working with colleagues or yourself and people like that who are also getting affected by their own things at the same time as caring for like patients and relatives and things like that, who are then also having their own stuff going on as well. So that's quite complex in the healthcare setting. But yeah, this is really for also for the care of employees as well. So
it's to increase awareness, reduce stigma, and create psychologically safer workplaces. So we can all have these conversations openly and safely. So we need more and more people taking that pledge, don't we?
Fantastic. Thank you for that, Becca. Really, really interesting stuff.
Welcome. Thank you for having me on.
Jim, is there any news on the High Seas Treaty?
Well, it's interesting you should ask that, Stuart. It's been a massive week for the High Seas Treaty. Now, if anyone hasn't been following this, and frankly, I'd be shocked. Becca, are you aware of the High Seas Treaty?
Oh, of course, I'm all about it. I can't wait to hear what the update is.
Fantastic. So you will be well aware the High Seas Treaty, to protect ocean life and to start coming in and formally be recognised in international law, we needed 60 countries to ratify it. It's been very slow progress up to the 50, slow up to 53, and then suddenly, this week,
what? They've done it?
63 ratifications.
Whoa!
The 19th of September, the High Seas Treaty reached the milestone that it needed to trigger its entry into force. That will enable stronger international efforts to protect our ocean. It will mitigate climate change, safeguard the lives and the livelihoods of billions of people worldwide. So it is now, in fact, as I look at the counting now, 115 days, 10 hours, 52 minutes and 1 second until that now enters into force. The last countries who pushed us over the line were Mexico, Kazakhstan, Morocco, Sierra Leone, St. Vincent and the Grenadines,
well done, St. Vincent,
Sri Lanka, Cambodia, Grenada, St. Kitts and Nevis, Cape Verde, but not, you will notice, the UK.
Oh.
Still, because we like to be late to the party, we are amongst the many who have signed it, but are waiting for to ratify it.
How do they ratify it? Just have to get it.
Yeah, it's that point where they take it from just something to go, yes, we're quite interested in this, to we're actually going to follow it. So 145 countries have signed the treaty, which marks a commitment to ratifying it. They've not done it yet. But huge stride forward, very exciting development. I will be keeping a close eye over the next 115 days, 10 hours, 50 minutes and 45 seconds to see what happens there, see who else continues to ratify that, and more importantly, of course, as that comes into force, what happens next.
I will keep us posted on that.
Fabulous news on that. I'd love to think that all of my efforts banging on about it week in, week out have made all the difference, but
I think you're making a difference.
Very surprised.
I really feel you are making a difference.
I think it was your pressure that pushed it over to the 63. So well done, Jim.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Thanks. I'll have a little celebratory tot of whiskey later.
Good for you.
So that's a fabulous piece of success. Shelley, you're trying to hold up something on the screen, but unfortunately you're holding it just to the side of the camera.
Yeah, I just wanted to get your attention.
Oh, did you? Okay.
Yeah, because
you have my attention. What do you want?
I have some really good UK-based news, exciting news.
Oh, brilliant.
Breaking news. The National Cat Awards.
Yes.
The award ceremony.
Yes.
Is going to be in London tomorrow.
Oh, wow. We need an update next week.
Yes.
Next week.
Yeah. So...
I can already tell you who wins. It's my cat, Pippin.
Absolutely.
Just before I was going to say, I found it on phone. Then one of my cats just came flying in and leapt up on the desk and just scared me. But I managed to not scream.
Well, maybe we should see if we can find some time over the next few days to do a cat award special.
Well, we're going to have to do that.
And see what we can do. We'll sort that out after we finish today.
Can you make sure you get your tuxes out for tomorrow?
Yeah.
I'll wear cat ears for the day, especially.
Yeah. I do have a tuxedo cat, so she's got one already. Do you have a tuxedo cat?
No, but I have got a calico.
A calico.
A calico cat.
Okay.
They're worshipped in some parts of the world. And I think she realizes that and is furious about the fact that we don't.
What about you, Beck?
Furious about something. I don't know.
Oh, here we are. For all those listening, it's a black cat. The
I
best.
love
black cat with a white diamond on her.
Yeah, black cats. Black cats are the best. They're the most neurotic of all the cats, but they're
I think the orange ones. They're pretty mad, aren't they?
Yeah, the black are interesting characters. I think the tortoiseshell ones seem quite chilled out.
No, they're not chilled out at all. I have a tortoiseshell, and she has the tortitude. There's actually been research done by vets in the States on tortitude to say that tortitude is a significant thing. So torties are pushy, possessive. They're possessive of their owners as well. And I would say that's probably the case. Because if my other two cats try to sit with me or cuddle me, she pushes them out.
Okay.
She won't have it.
So I'm just looking at this here. So we've got the senior cat category. The connected cat category.
Connected to what?
Just connected to the community and so on and so forth. The incredible cat category. So we've got that. We've got the family cat category. So it's all to play for tomorrow night. How exciting.
Well, it is exciting. I was just gonna go around the mates, but I might just tune in live. I assume this is televised.
Yeah.
Yeah, it better be.
Yeah.
Well, we'll see what we can find.
It'll be an OK magazine, so we'll just be able to catch up with the highlights there, I should think.
Okay, that's good. That's good.
Maybe if you're lucky next year, you guys can get like a sponsorship to go and view it yourselves.
Yeah, that would be amazing.
Support live from the Cat Awards.
That'd be great.
That would probably be the best night of my life. I'm not going to.
There's a little project for you to work on over the next few months. Make it happen.
I'll start liaising with the Cats Protection League. Don't worry.
Official podcasters of the Cat Awards 2026.
Exactly. Especially when they see how influential you've been in getting the
Ocean Treaty ratified. Absolutely.
Exactly.
Got that done.
Would never been involved. Granada would never been involved if not for your hardcore campaigning.
That's what this show's all about.
Yeah.
I feel quite humbled by it. Humbled. Oh, that's a beautiful thing. Good. Well, has anyone else got any good news for this week? No? Okay. Well, then that, I think, is us about done. Thanks, everyone, for listening to Everything's Fine Probably. If you enjoyed it, do the usual. Like, share, subscribe to your mates, tattoo the logo on your forehead, and whatever helps to share the word. If you didn't enjoy it, just keep it to yourself. I don't think I bet you. Tell us on social media, and we'll ignore it in a respectful way. Speaking of the socials, we'd love to hear from you. You got a good story we've missed? Well, something that's heartwarming, ridiculous, or just the sort of thing that makes you go, humanity isn't entirely doomed. Just send it our way on Facebook or Instagram or whatever Elon hasn't broken yet. If it's good enough, we might talk about it on the show. If it's rubbish, we'll pretend we never saw it and blame Stu. Massive thanks again to Becca for carrying the Baton of Hope and proving passing the baton can be about more than just sports day trauma. Next week, we've got Rob Smith joining us, a man who knows more about the power of positive and meaningful thought than we know about, well, most things really. He's taught it, he's lived it. Frankly, he might be the only person who can get us to think positively for longer than the time that it takes to just record an episode. So trust me, that will be well worth a listen. So anyway, until then, keep your chins up, keep your stories positive and your expectations of us reassuringly low. Until then, remember, everything's fine. Probably.